Daniel Zipser is senior partner at McKinsey & Company.
First of all, I've been incredibly excited on the core consumption category. So while we've seen a decline on the large ticket items, appliances and EVs, with the subsidies coming to end and electric vehicles being equally soft right now, we do see a stronghold in the more traditional consumer categories. And that includes cosmetics, beauty, personal care. That includes fashion, that includes clothing, and yet again, sportswear category had a great basic first quarter of the year. So it's a overall lower retail sales growth number, but it's driven by the more core category. The other part, which has been a bright spot, has been tourism. So we continue to see domestic tourism, as well as also outbound tourism, as well as also very healthy inflow of tourists from all across the world, particularly neighboring countries, to China. Yet again, I found that actually particularly attractive. That should not basically hide the overall message that the economy right now is not on track to moving to a consumption-led economy. I think the Q1 GDP growth is primarily a result of very strong export growth. But if I look at the consumption, they are bright spots, and they are parts which gets me very excited.
In which case, how would you describe the new Chinese consumer? I mean, what's actually changing in behaviour?
Excellent question. And indeed, there has been changes. The word I've been using is that the consumer has moved on. So if I go back a year ago, the consumer was hoping and still saying, oh, the stimulus is going to come. We're going to go back to the good old days. And by now, I think reality is there, right? The property market remains very soft. But the consumer now has moved on and continues spending again. Saving rate remains high. At the same time, also, the daily pleasures and the small purchases, yet again, actually are back. And that is a good news, and that should give us actually hope for the year 2026 to come.
You mentioned words of caution over exports, but exports linked to AI and tech are surging and domestic investments picking up. So what does that tell us about where China's growth model's really headed?
Yes, you're right. The reason why I put caution on that is in the current geopolitical climate, the external environment will remain volatile. So growth, which is based on export, is very hard to predict whether that will remain a stronghold going forward. But you're right. I think the export are fueled by AI-led exports, which actually is exciting. And yes, I think in the fourth quarter of last year, we've seen actually a weakening of investments into China. And I was also very excited that Q1 has actually seen an uptick again. And the private capital investments into China are actually looking much stronger again than before.
So how confident are you that this shift is durable rather than cyclical? I mean, what signals are you looking out for?
So I think on the exports, I think it's very hard to predict anything given the external environment. What gives me confidence for 2026 is more the core consumption categories. And I don't see that being cyclical. Actually, in reverse, I think that we are back to a stronger growth record for categories like cosmetics, like clothing and fashion, sportswear, and also F&B remained resilient and continues to have growth. So that puts a part where I do believe we are actually on a strong growth path going forward.